Hello there. I'm here to talk about ETPZP SMS, a Next.js application that I built for my high school in Portugal during my last year of high school. And so it was a SMS messaging web application that I deployed on a local machine in the school's network. And it included a bunch of different features such as scheduling SMS messages, bulk SMS message sending, um, creating draft, like it automatically saves drafts when you compose a new message. You can take a look at the messaging history of all your messages that were sent. And for admins, there's also an admin dashboard. So regarding the development setup and the technical setup, I used Next.js, which is a open source, modern, full stack JavaScript framework. And then I used Docker to make the deployment environment more consistent and make it easier to port the project across different operating systems. And on top of that, I used Nginx, which is a web server. It's just a lightweight alternative to Apache. And I deployed it on a local machine in the school's network on a school computer. And I did that using a virtual Ubuntu machine. And on that virtual Ubuntu machine, I installed the Nginx, downloaded the Docker image, and ran the Docker image in the Nginx server. And that setup was very secure and it worked very, very well. But there was one problem, and that problem was that when you're self-hosting on a local machine in your own network, first of all, it's not accessible to anyone else outside of the network. And secondly, the local machine by default has a dynamic IP address that's attributed by the router. So to avoid this, or to fix this, I had to install a NoIP, which is a program that basically gives you a free domain, and you run it on the server. And also, its main feature is it makes dynamic IP addresses behave like static ones. So this was perfect. It was free and it allowed me to deploy and host the project on that computer. And to make it accessible from outside of the school's network, I configured a little rule on the router to forward all traffic on a specific port to that machine in the network. So yeah, that's the deployment setup. The Docker was also pretty simple. I had two Docker containers, one for the web server, the Next.js app, and the other one was for the PostgreSQL database. It all sounds pretty simple, but to configure all these things and get them to communicate with each other, sometimes a little bit tricky with all the different ports and different environments. But and I connected the two using Docker Compose. You can view all those files in the repository. The Docker file for the database is in /lib/db Docker file, and Docker Compose and the other Docker file for the web server are both in the root directory of the project. So feel free to check it out. It was a ton of fun to build, and I also wrote a pretty comprehensive documentation, PDF, about 50 pages, which describes the whole setup and the whole project in more detail. and also I have the PowerPoint on my website available too, that I used to present the project at the end of the school term. So I hope you liked this, and thank you very much for listening.